Kristen.
Welcome to the Murder and Myths podcast.
Episode April Fools with the Sad Dads Club podcast.
That's exciting.
It's exciting.
Oh my God.
Exciting. We're excited to be in the clubhouse today.
Yay.
So thank you for having us.
Did you ever think that you'd be in our studio?
No. I have to say how nice it is. I'm very impressed.
We have tires. Do you want some tires?
You know, I could go for some camping. That Charmin, actually.
There's a Christmas tree in here.
We have
bonus points if you can find it.
extra IKEA seating.
Yeah.
I know. I like this. I think I'll take the Dixie cups on the way out, too. I'll see what I could take.
Yeah.
So, cool.
Also, every once in a while, a shark shows up.
I know.
Yeah.
I never thought we'd do a podcast with a shark.
This
With
is
a
true.
shark.
This is interesting.
It's a first.
He's fresh. I just caught him.
See, if I knew this was going to happen, I would have found a shark story, a shark-related story.
Oh. Yeah, there you
It's
go.
fine. It's
I
fine.
don't know. What are you going to do?
I don't know. Well, thank you for having us.
thanks.
I would like to give you a couple reading recommendations if you guys are up late and need something to read.
Shoot.
I
I never learned to read.
never learned. Well, it's wiki, so it's got pictures.
It's like a comic book.
20, if you guys Google on your wiki, 2016 clown sightings.
Oh, boy.
There's a whole list of clown sightings from 2016.
Foo loves clowns.
Can't
It's a whole list.
Like murderous
No
clowns.
Random sightings. Like someone saw one on a street in LA.
So just a juggalo.
Yeah.
I remember this.
Yeah.
This was hot right around it.
So you can look up a year and then there's clown sighting. So year and clown sighting.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
No, thank you.
And then the other list, it's a long list, a list of missing people. And that one goes through from like...
Now, did they ever combine the two and figure out that?
You know what? I think that's what we need to do is like actually like start. That might
Season
be
two.
Collate the data and figure out the clowns appeared around the time the missing people.
That would be interesting. And this was before the It. I know. And it's kind of creepy to like look and see the long. I mean, it goes from the 1800s and beyond to like present day. And just to see how many, and it kind of links the story to it. And it's just kind of, it's a reader. It keeps, I've read the whole thing. Stayed up late reading
As
it.
someone that doesn't like clowns, I'll just have to take your word for it.
I'm wondering if Data's fits in the clown list at all.
Well, if there's any sightings, you can look by the state and the town. So
if anyone sees Data's, then they'll just put them on there. They'll be like, "Yep, I saw a clown."
So how does it get put up to the site, though?
I don't know how it's like a weird. I don't know if people add to it or
It's
I
magic. It's like internet magic.
Yeah.
I just expect things to be there when I Google it now. Like I don't know.
Yeah, internet magic.
But I mean, there was a lot of clown sightings in 2016. I don't know if they were all murderous, but that's kind of
Huh.
yeah.
It's just
It will keep you up late. Like I read it.
I don't want any part of that.
There's only there's only like 2 pictures on there that might be a little scary.
Foo really hates clowns. Like,
Yeah. No.
really hates clowns.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you know this?
No, I didn't know this.
No.
That was a complete. I didn't
Even
know
as a
this.
shark, I can't stand.
They don't taste good. Get all the makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all that lead paint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like the plastic hair.
And the
It's just-
insanity. I
Yeah.
can't stand it. Tastes bad. Leaves bad
The
aftertaste.
insanity tastes bad.
Yeah. It's worse than a Four Loko.
Oh.
Okay, first of all,
That's hard to do.
the fact that you guys picked a peach flavor, like that is like one of the worst artificial flavors.
See,
peach,
that was that
no,
clown.
I think he
He did
hates
it on
you.
purpose.
That's just mean. Besides grape, I think peach is the worst.
Well, I think the original one, you find the original flavor in Yuba City or something? I think that says something about the area.
I was gonna say
Just
that's
in
like
general.
Well, what was the original flavor?
It
Vomit?
just was, yeah.
Vomit?
Four Loko flavor.
Oh my god. Okay.
It's on your ear.
Oh,
Right
they're not.
there.
They're honestly not gonna bite me.
No, yeah, it's on her sweater.
They don't like me.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
love me.
Oh, it's
My
gonna
blood
get
is
your boob.
not good for them. He just kind of mosquitoes.
perch.
Anyway,
So, clown sightings.
sound sightings, and then we have list of missing people. So we thought we would come here today to the Sad Dads Club podcast and share you guys a couple stories.
This is going to be awesome.
I'm ready.
Okay, so
I'm ready down to my being, all the way down.
My shark body is ready.
we're gonna start this story. We're gonna go to England.
Okay.
So this gentleman, John, and his wife Marie had come home from a shopping trip. Realized,
You know what kind of shopping? All right, just
food shopping, probably.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll
so
take that.
To the market.
the market. They went to the market.
All right.
They picked up some tonic water, which was something Marie liked to have in her house to settle her stomach. And her, they drank it, had a nightcap, and little gin and tonic, no big deal, went to bed. But then Marie had woken up feeling kind of sick. Thought, oh, maybe I had a little bit too much, but then things just weren't feeling well, and she started just getting worse and worse, started having hallucinations.
Wait, have you been hanging out at my house? Because
Yeah.
it sounds a lot like my wife.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Too much quinine.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
We're fighting the scurvy and the hangover.
Yeah.
And the malaria.
And the malaria. This is right. But little did these people know that they were going to be part of a plot.
Okay.
So she was admitted to the hospital. She ended up needing emergency attention, hallucinating, getting all hot and bothered, and
From the drinks?
from the drink.
gin and
From the
tonic.
drink. Yeah.
Was it purple? Purple drink?
Only under the black light is it purple.
What brand of gin was this?
It didn't say. It was, I know it
Beefeater?
was, what was that?
Beefeater?
Beefeater. Well, I don't want to assume since it was England, but
Stay away from that bottle, date, as I see you eyeing it.
yeah, come on.
Oh.
So now we're going to kind of go back. So
Okay.
a gentleman named Paul Agatter was a biochemist, and he was married to his wife, Alexandra. He poured his wife a gin and tonic nightcap. The wife pointed out, this drink seems a little strong. Started sipping the drink and also began to feel ill immediately. She was also not able to stand, hallucinating, started having vomiting, diarrhea, like the whole gamut.
Oh, the trots.
Oh, the trots. She had the trots. I can't include a story that doesn't have the trots.
The bear destroyer.
The bear.
The cat. Yeah.
I want to know what, shark trots are like. Sorry.
I thought
Just
sharks
random
had,
thought.
I thought sharks had pink poop, or was that something?
No, that's not hippos. They have pink
yeah.
excretions.
Oh,
Oh.
we got to find the romance novel words for everything.
I'll let
we
you know
talk about.
later.
Yeah. Can you?
Yeah.
Report back.
Report back. Let us know. So she ends up getting taken to the hospital as well. The doctors try to figure out what happened to her. She kept getting sicker and sicker and sicker. A friend had mentioned, hey, a lot of other people are showing up in this hospital with similar symptoms. A bunch of other cases started rolling into the hospital that were very similar. People getting sick. So the police started getting involved, thinking, you know what, we need to investigate this. There's a lot of people getting
Something's
ill
afoot.
up in this town, and yeah. So, and then a total of 8 people ended up coming ill, and became ill
Over the course of one night?
over the course of a few nights,
Okay,
probably a couple
okay.
nights. So people are rolling in and then being hospitalized for
Okay.
multiple days.
Okay.
Yeah. So the police did some investigating, and they found the common link to most of these poisonings: Safeway brand tonic water.
Oh.
Really?
See what we did here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
No one took the bait.
no one took my bait.
Not even the shark.
Not even the shark. It's
I already
fine.
have the shit, so
Some of that will help,
You'll clean you out.
yeah. That would,
and fight the scurvy and the. Yeah.
But you don't have any hallucinations.
Yeah.
You're good.
I'm working on it.
It's about to get
Except this
interesting.
I see a shark.
Yeah. What are you talking about? There's no shark here.
See?
Yeah, I see you.
I'm not sure where to look, actually.
I don't know either, because I'm trying to is it the middle, or do we
Do I
look
look
at
at
one
the-
eye?
like
Is
the-
it the
shark
side?
Do I look
eye.
at the teeth because they're going to bite me? Or do I look him in the eye? And then if he gets too close, do I punch him in the eye and stick my
If
fingers?
we cover the gills, can he breathe?
Oh.
The answer is oops. That's where you look.
Oops.
Yeah.
no.
Oh, no.
You're fooked.
The police decided to pull the surveillance tapes in the Safeway and saw a very familiar face. They found out that they saw a gutter messing around with a bunch of the tonic waters.
Uh-huh.
And we're like, that's interesting. So they arrest him, get him start questioning him in jail, and they discover basically that he ends up going shopping with his wife. She wanted the gin and tonics, forgets to buy the tonic water, goes back to the Safeway, had poisoned started poisoning the waters, brings back the water to his wife and starts, pouring her a gin and tonic, realizing she's sick, but adds a little bit more of something more than just gin and tonic.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. So he thought he would be clever to cover his tracks by also poisoning other people. Yeah, so they found out basically he thought, this is going to, if I do this, then it's going to kind of detract mass hysteria. And then my wife was kind of part of this whole thing. So they found out after testing all the drinks and compared it to the others, the wife's drink had 292 milligrams per liter of atropine. Interesting fact about atropine, if you didn't know, it's a derivative of belladonna or deadly nightshade.
Oh.
So that's why if you ever have an eye issue and use atropine, not that I'm saying please poison anyone, but like they tell you not to touch it because it's poisonous. Yeah. But everyone else's drink had 103 or less milligrams of the of the toxin. So she wasn't accidentally, it was not an accident from the Safeway.
So the husband was trying to off the wife.
100%.
Wow.
Okay.
Prosecution thought it was really funny because he would have gotten away with it if he had just poured her drink down the sink and been like, I don't know, like that was so weird. She got poisoned and like there was no repercussions with it.
So he left the drink out when
he
she
left
went
the
to
drink
the hospital?
out. Yeah. He didn't cover his tracks. He's not very a good, he's not very good.
So they had surveillance tapes in it. So what year was it?
This was actually in 1994.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they had tapes and they saw him messing with the waters.
But who doesn't realize that their tonic water's already been opened?
That's what I was wondering. I don't know. That's what I thought was weird. Unless I don't know.
Well,
like,
I
that's
don't
a
know.
pretty
You
firm
could
bottle.
you could probably take a really thin gauge needle and
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but
That's true.
pour in through the top where the air is, so you wouldn't necessarily leak anything.
This is true. This is true.
Not that
an
I've
eye
ever
on him.
Keep an eye on this
contemplated-
guy. Yeah.
You just kind of bite it.
With your shark teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, it was a whole thing. They looked into the case more, found out that basically he had a lady on the side, and he's trying to be like, oh, I just, she was pressuring me to like leave my wife and like, go with her.
If you think about that chick that he's hooking up with on the side, I mean, after all that, you think that she's going to be like, I'm cool with you. You just killed your wife or whatever.
We're
you
all
know what I
good.
mean? Like, yeah.
Not to mention he had like crippling debt, and so he,
Because
yeah.
of course
yeah,
he did.
of course he did.
He
so
needed that
life
life
insurance.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
it was. So he basically, he asked why he did it. He's like, my wife, have become distant over the time, and I just thought it'd be, a good idea. This was just easier than getting a divorce.
Oh my god.
And his girlfriend, whose name is Carol, was like, it's not a problem. This whole
I
thing,
think-
Carol didn't seem to care.
If it's easier than getting a divorce, you have to get away with it, and you have to be fucking smart to do that.
He just had to pour the drink down the sink.
That's all he had to do.
I mean, all he had to do. The prosecution.
The amount of times, the whole surveillance, even in '94,
Yeah.
right? The whole surveillance
Surveillance.
thing to me
Choppy.
is like,
It's choppy.
and you still
Yeah.
see that someone that's, did they mention his age?
He was older. They didn't say age. I'm assuming probably 40s.
We see that like in current events, like
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How
like
choppy.
our parents' age bracket doesn't necessarily everyone's got Ring doorbells.
Oh, man.
And
Yeah.
like Wi-Fi enabled cameras
All
and
clear.
surveillance everywhere. So
Yeah.
you get like these
Dash
dingbats that are
cams.
the UPS box thefts and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Like, come on.
These people that
Yeah.
think that they can still walk up to a port. So it's like some guy
now. You can't
walks
now.
into a grocery store where it's not some place that's not going to get shoplifters or already has theft problems.
There's always like those.
And so
secret
this guy
stalkers.
thinks he's going to go in next to the tonic water and like bing, 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 bing.
he thought
Yeah.
he'd get away with it.
Especially
Yeah.
if he was wearing a shirt.
I'm a
suit.
crime-solving shark.
There you are.
Yeah.
Bitches.
Someone pitched that TV show.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah. Was it? Oh wait, you could call it SVU, but it'd be Shark Victims Unit.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to change titles.
Dun,
Just be a
dun.
Law and Order.
No, it'd be like chomp chomp.
Chomp, chomp.
So
Chomp, chomp.
they kind of realized like after he was trying to like pin that he had a great oh no, Carol was cool with this, the wife was fine with it, it was fine, she knew about Carol, everyone knew about Carol, it was fine. Ended up that it wasn't. They hated each other. The wife was like knew about it. They were kind of on outs, but like there was a whole thing about divorce and debt, not wanting to take on the debt. Basically, the judge was basically like, you know what, this was an evil and cunning devised crime, which was not only designed to bring about the death of your wife, but also cause great alarm and danger and injury to the public. He ended up getting sentenced to 12 years in prison for trying to murder his wife and endangering 7 others. Oh, no, but wait. He was quietly released 5 years early. And would you guys like to know where he is now?
Folsom.
No, he is now teaching ethics at the local university.
Stop.
No, he is
At a local
at a university in Edinburgh. It was around Edinburgh. Ethics. So he's still an ethics professor now in Edinburgh. So he not only caused mass hysteria, panic in the city, like scaring people that there was some kind of mass poisoning thing happening, endangered the lives of multiple people, poisoned his wife, and he got kind of away with it.
That in a similar vein, it reminds me of that one that Patton Oswalt's wife had been working on, and that the night. Damn it! I'm drawing a blank.
East area.
That he killed a bunch of people, and like an unsolved. They never caught the guy, and he was living. It was the guy that was living here in the area.
East area.
And
the East area.
Rapist.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a cop, and like had gone on and taught other stuff at local. It's like, how do these? Obviously, he was uncaught, and it wasn't a thing
that's a whole ride. That
came in and then went out. But some of these people that are doing nasties, and then they're in a profession where they're
that's the thing.
Counterselling.
Well, and he got arrested. What was it for? I mean, in response to that, it was like he had bought dog repellent. Was it a knife or something to break in? Everyone noticed how he's had a weird smell to him every time he was there, but the police just kind of glossed over that whole thing that he had done that, and it was like it was dog repellent.
Well, the technology is what caught up with that East area guy, because if it wasn't for the DNA,
I know,
right, he would have gone scot-free.
And see, the new thing is, the big news right now is they were going to DNA test the Zodiac stamps. They actually were able to extract DNA off there, and now they're running it against to see.
Were they?
Yeah.
Is that new?
That's new within this couple weeks.
Wow.
Last couple weeks, days actually. So I'm sitting here like, oh my god, because that's like my one case that I follow. Is it Ted
Cruz? Because that's Ted Cruz, right?
Really
Aren't we supposed to believe it's Ted Cruz?
I thought it was funny because as much as
funny
he posted the Zodiac cipher on his Twitter.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, oh really?
Like, look at you.
Hiding in plain
People
sight.
died, dude.
Right there. I know.
Morons.
Yeah,
People
we had visited
died.
a couple of the murder sites because they're just down the road, essentially. Yeah, we went to a couple of those, but that was my story. Just simple poison. No,
And it was
mass hysteria.
that's crazy.
That's insane.
So he teaches ethics. That's what's important.
I can't believe that. That just boggles my mind.
When I kill my wife, I'll have a much better plan. You know what I mean?
I did not.
I put her in a video camera.
Yeah, I won't.
That's how those Saw movies start.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. My wife wakes up chained to the toilet.
Do you want a divorce?
Do you want a divorce?
Yeah.
Do you want to be a meal?
It's like talking to the microphone.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Perhaps I'll just eat you
Yeah.
and leave you in my pink poop in the ocean.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to look it up
Yeah,
later.
it's gonna be like and
Shark poop.
What does
color?
shark poop look like? These are the important facts. So
Hey, don't you guys have a guy for that?
Yeah.
yeah, what's it?
Hey, guy.
Oh wait, he looks it up. Wow, we need a guy.
What color is...
Can we borrow him on Sundays?
It's
It's green. Wow.
neon green.
Look at that. That's so
Wow. That's
shark
some
shit is neon green.
That's some James Bond smokescreen Aston Martin stuff.
I feel like that's where they got the color for all the 80s t-shirts.
Yeah. Oh, the hyper
Hypercolor.
hypercolor.
Yeah,
Nice.
you'd always
Yeah.
right on the boobs. Yeah.
Quick.
Yeah. All right, you ready to just give us a little myth?
Yeah, I can
Okay, here we go.
give a little myth. So I'm going to preface this
Who's
by
ready?
saying, I'm sure you guys are all familiar with Thor and Loki because
Oh, yeah.
of Marvel. For the purpose of this myth, it would probably be better not to picture Thor as Chris
Please.
Hemsworth.
Oh my God, I could.
It works better if you don't.
Okay.
So picture Thor as like he classically would be like
Not.
big, huge, burly ginger.
Oh my God, is
Okay.
he Ginger Fabio?
No. Damn it. No.
I'm going to Google that later.
You can Google that later. Kim's got a thing for Fabio. I'm starting to get concerned.
You've name dropped Fabio.
Okay, here's why, and I will tell you why this came up. This is a quick story.
I'm excited.
One of the people we work with, I hit some papers off her, like she has clips where her desk is, and there was a signed Fabio picture on her desk.
And the jealous rage came out.
And I was like, this is not work appropriate. He's barely, like, it's like naked, but cut from like, what is that? The eagle?
The V?
Yeah. Like
crease
up.
of Adonis.
I was just like, not, and I was like, this is not work appropriate by any means, supervisor.
What do they call that? The fupa?
What?
I don't know.
I don't know if that's related to Fabio. Hello.
Are you threatening me?
Go away, Mr. Shark.
Okay.
This is amazing.
We need
You're
shark
scaring
repellent.
me.
I know. Okay, so not hot Thor.
Not hot Thor.
Okay.
Not hot Thor.
Not hot
All
Thor.
right.
Burly, manly, long red
Nordic.
beard. Nordic Thor.
Yes.
Got it.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
But if you want to picture Loki as Tom Hiddleston,
It's like my
that's
friend.
fine.
Now I just
Yeah.
am like friend Dave in high school. Okay.
Okay, cool. So we enter Asgard to find Thor waking up, and he can't find Mjolnir. It's just missing. So he's pissed. He's angry. He's stomping around Asgard, throwing a big manly baby, a little bit of a baby fit.
okay.
Until he finally finds Loki. So
All right.
he's like, Loki, Mjolnir has been stolen. This is really bad for us. And Loki recognizes that this is not a great predicament for anyone in Asgard to be in, because basically the only thing keeping the giants away is Thor and his giant killing hammer.
Okay.
So they're going to go off to find Freya, who is like just the hottest goddess that there probably is in Norse mythology.
Female Fabio.
Female Fabio.
I don't know.
Kim, get your mind off of Fabio. And she's also like a really renowned magician, so renowned that she in fact taught Odin a lot of his magic. So they go tell Freya that the hammer's been stolen, and asks if they could borrow her cloak of feathers that she has, which basically bestows the wearer with the power of flight.
Okay.
So she's
All
like,
right.
She's like that bird lady, the sorceress in He-Man.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yes.
need visuals when she tells these
She
stories.
does. She does.
So I'm like, we got Nordic Fabio, we got Loki from the Marvel movies,
Yep.
and now the sorceress from He-Man.
Sorceress
And where
from
does Skeletor fit in?
Oh yeah. Is there Skeletor? Okay, just keep going.
He's
I
my
don't think
favorite.
it's good. Not in this story. Next
Okay.
time. Next
Okay.
time I'll work a Skeletor in. So Freya recognizes that this is a terrible predicament that they're in, and she loans them her cloak.
Okay.
So Loki wraps himself up in this feather cloak, and he flies off to Jotunheim, the land of the giants, in search of Thor's weapon. And he's searching and searching until he comes upon the hall of one of the giant kings named Thrym. And Thrym shouts out to him, Loki, tell me news of the lands of the gods. Why have you come to the land of the giants? And Loki responds, well, Thrym,
I need your fucking hammer.
yes, basically.
I've got all these nails and I can't. I don't have anything to pound them with.
Putting on a new roof. Kind of need your hammer. Anyway, have you seen it, perhaps?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Okay.
He's like, have you
Okay.
seen this?
Okay.
Things are not great.
All
Have you
right.
seen this? Thor's
He's a
hammer's
carpenter
missing.
without his tool. I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
Exactly.
Right.
And if the nails are giants' heads, then yes, precisely. So Thrym basically laughs at Loki and says, "Yeah, I have Thor's hammer, and in fact, I have hidden it 8 miles beneath the ground, and no man will ever see this hammer again.
That's a lot of
unless
digging.
You bring me Freya to be my
Oh.
wife."
Oh dear.
She wants the hot. Or he
That's a
wants
tall
the
order.
hotness.
Yeah.
Okay.
He wants the hot, beautiful
He-Man
goddess,
sorceress.
He-Man sorceress. So Loki's like, this is not going to be really great for us, but he puts the cloak back on and flies back to Asgard. And
Did he ride like JetBlue?
They didn't ride WoW. They got
no,
No, he did not.
wow, no, error. No.
All right,
No.
sorry.
No, I think the cloak, it either lets him fly or it turns him into
Was
an
it a battle
actual
cat?
bird.
Okay.
No, okay.
Now I'm on the
Actual
He-Man
bird.
track. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's fine. There's no battle cat in this
Okay.
episode either. Sorry.
See, I'm still waiting for Skeletor.
Well, time to go. Just kidding.
Always.
Make my
So
dad
he-
sound as I get up. Sorry.
No doubt. Well, that would be appropriate for this podcast.
That would be.
My shark back.
So he gets back to Asgard, and Thor says, Loki, like, tell me what you found. Don't even land yet. Like, I need you to give this news to me right now, because he's just freaking out about his hammer being missing. So Loki says, yeah, I found it. Thrym has it. He wants Freya as his wife. And before he can even finish, Thor's off. Thor's at Freya's hall.
Oh.
And he says, look, Freya, put on a wedding dress.
Yeah.
We're going to Jotunheim.
I
Oh,
really
geez.
need my hammer. You've been bequeathed.
Right.
Sorry.
Freya is not having any of this.
Surprise.
Right?
Shocker. Hashtag me too. I'm not your property.
Right?
Precisely.
I'm making dinner.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Wow.
Can I at least eat? I mean,
The sandwiches aren't ready.
Yeah.
So she's not thrilled. And in fact, she basically asks Thor, do I look like a whore? Because, if I go to Jotunheim, that's what everyone's going to say about me.
Yeah.
So this is not happening.
He's like, am I supposed to answer that? Or
Yeah.
he's all
open-ended?
But like, I really want my hammer.
Yes.
And that's all he wants is lady.
It's 8 miles
Yeah.
down in the earth.
I don't have a magic shovel.
I
have a magic hammer.
I don't even think my caterpillar will do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Anyway.
It's not going to
I
happen.
don't know how that giant got that hammer buried so quick either, but it is mythology.
Anyway.
probably-
Some things don't have answers.
It's magic.
So
Magic.
instead of sending Freya to Jotunheim, all the gods kind of meet together and they're talking and discussing and trying to figure out how they're going to get Thor's hammer back. When the god Heimdall, which you could picture him like the Marvel Heimdall too, that's fine.
Okay.
Or Skeletor if you want.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Now. Okay, now it's getting interesting.
So
My evil even scares me.
You gotta
Sorry,
do the
that's what he's. Yeah, exactly.
No battle cat.
Sorry.
No, there's
yeah.
no battle
Okay,
cat.
okay.
There's no battle cat, Kim. I don't think I can work a battle cat.
Don't make
into
me turn this podcast around with the battle cat, okay?
Well, maybe I'll figure it out. Okay. So Heimdall looks at Thor. He's kind of sizing him up, and he says, I know. Let's put a wedding dress on Thor.
Oh my.
This will work.
Well, they've all mulleted out anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, Loki's a sexy bitch. That'd work too.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So, there's this big manly man, and Heimdall's answer is, let's put a wedding dress on him. We'll put a wedding veil. We'll give him all the trappings of a lady. We'll give him Freya's famous necklace.
Oh.
Like makeup.
The bosoming?
Oh.
I think I'm getting excited.
Yeah, trappings?
The trappings of a
Trappings.
lady.
Okay.
Yeah.
Try to make it believable.
Okay.
I don't think this was the trappings. I think there's another trapping, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh.
Yeah.
You've never been trapped by a proper lady shark.
Is there a cage involved?
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
A swimming cage?
That's why I don't go to that South America place anymore. They put lady sharks in the water next
Oh.
to the cages.
Does it
Yeah.
require protective scuba gear?
Yeah, it's terrible. There's a lot of rubber involved.
Squeaking, a lot
Yeah.
of weird undercurrent, if you will.
Yeah.
And baby powder?
Yeah. There's
Oh,
chafing.
God.
It just.
No,
it's
it's
bad.
it's Vaseline, then the baby powder.
Oh, geez. I didn't realize there was a layering
There's a
thing.
layer thing.
Oh.
Anyway,
You know too much.
I know too much. I
No
had to
wonder why shit's sticking.
Right.
Sorry.
gotta
No,
get the Vaseline
Thor,
in there.
Thor does not agree that this is a great idea.
Okay.
He's like, no, everyone will think I'm a sissy if this
Oh.
happens. I can't have that. Loki basically tells him to shut up. Like, shut up, Thor.
Take it. You want your hammer?
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
like
it's your
if-
hammer.
If you don't get your hammer, the giants are basically going to live in Asgard.
Yeah.
So put the fucking
Suck it
dress
up.
on. Put
Yeah.
Dress on.
Yeah.
Or the
Dress on.
shark on, whatever. Just
Size
we're
6
going.
and get it done, buddy.
So they do, in fact, put a wedding dress on Thor and give him all the trappings of a lady.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And Loki looks at him and says, you know what? This looks kind of fun.
Oh, God.
I think I'll dress up as a lady as well.
Double whammy.
Oh.
Double whammy.
Whoa.
So
We brought you Freya and Froyo.
Frozen yogurt?
Yeah. Well,
All right.
you know.
All right.
Anyway.
So they dress as these ladies and they hop in Thor's chariot.
Oh.
Because he can't fly with the hammer anymore.
And there's no battle cat.
Was it like a Volkswagen Beetle?
It's pulled by goats. But
So
we'll
yes,
say
the
yes.
answer is
Yes.
the answer
Really?
is yes, it is.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
That's awesome.
Beagle.
Beetle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for the sake of the podcast, we'll say it was
A
pulled by battle cats.
Battle cats?
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
there you go, Kim. So
Wow.
Freya, air quotes, and her handmaiden, air quotes, pull up to Thrym's hall, and a Thor-sized bride exits from Thor's chariot, pulled by Thor's battle cat. And Thrym the giant is like, my wife is here.
Oh,
it's
God.
time to feast.
Oh, God.
Feast.
Feast.
Whoa, boy.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Hey,
you
he's
have to
getting-
have a
One of those
feast
kind of
before the
marriages.
marriage.
Oh.
Food.
Got it.
Food, Kim. Stop thinking of Fabio.
Ah. Put that
I
mullet.
thought Thor was getting some right there.
That's what I would
That's-
see. Okay, it wasn't just me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, no.
I just heard fellatio.
Ooh.
It's time to fillet.
Feast.
Feast.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, that's what I said. Fellatio.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So at this feast, Thor, forgetting that he's supposed to be a dainty little woman, eats an entire ox.
Wow.
Ate
Good thing there
salmon.
wasn't a shark there.
Yeah.
He probably would have. Yeah. He
They
would've
threatening me?
done that too.
Tired of your shit, man.
Sorry, Mr. Shark.
Okay. We're good.
We're gonna have to file like a shark attack report before this.
That's fine.
Clown,
OSHA doesn't
a
apply in
clown
the-
sighting, and a shark sighting.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do is start the 2019 shark sightings.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
So he overeats.
He overeats.
'Kay.
And Thrym is like, "Whoa! I have never seen a lady eat as much as you have."
Right.
And at
Oh.
that point, Thor is about to answer, but Loki, being very quick-tongued, says, No, Thrym. It's just that Freya was so hot in her longing for you that she hasn't eaten anything in 8 days. So that's why all of the food happened.
Having slight technical difficulties.
Kristen,
Yeah.
elevator music.
Now I'm a holding shark.
Where's
Keep going.
Where's the
Go ahead.
asshole
I'll keep
production
going.
team when you
I
do
know,
that?
seriously, my microphone's been listing.
Take her mic out of the holder and just let her hold it.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go. And back to
Turn
the
it off.
story.
Yeah. There you go.
Elevator music, elevator music.
There you
I'm
go.
not doing the production on this
Take it.
episode.
There you go.
There we go. I feel like a talk show host now.
There you go.
Nice.
There you go.
I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like what's his name? Geraldo? Maury. I want to be Maury. Shark, you are not the
Oh.
father.
Oh.
Oh,
Of
what's
all the-
the
of
what's
all
the
those
other
pups.
dude that came out of his show? The Steve.
Oh yeah.
Wilkos.
Oh yeah, that Wilkos. That was from the
You could
Spring-
pull the pull the
Jerry
arm
Springer.
up out of the.
Springer Show.
Slide it back in there now.
No, I don't want it falling.
It's fine.
into that.
I'll hold it.
There
It's
you go.
fine.
All right.
She'll just hold that.
I'll hold it.
Okay.
All right.
So
So yeah, he's hot and she Freya's hot in her longing for Thrym, which is why she hasn't eaten in 8 days. Thrym likes this explanation from Loki, so he reaches in and lifts the veil, and somehow completely ignores the fact that Thor's beard is there,
massive.
and tries to give Freya a kiss, but
Oh.
This is like the story Marvel's not covering.
this is
Oh, yeah.
it's not going.
But they probably should.
I'd be
Yeah.
okay with it.
Yeah.
But Thor's eyes are like shooting daggers at this giant right now. Like,
Well, yeah.
Because
You
he
want
wants
the
his
hammer you
back.
make with
Yeah.
the mouse stuff.
he wants
Like-
his hammer back. So Thrym kind of jumps back and is like, "Whoa! I've never seen a lady with such violence in her eyes
Yeah.
before."
Not the beard.
He must not be.
Not the beard.
Not the beard,
He
but
must
the
not
eye
have-
daggers. You're
Yeah.
like, yo, that's starting to get a bridge too far. The way you're looking at me, not the
Yeah.
way you look.
Yeah.
But you know,
Isn't that something like most guys like
Yeah.
are used to that look though?
Yeah.
They get it at least once or twice. He
I
knows.
don't know.
He knows.
Well, apparently Thrym has never seen this before.
Yeah.
'cause
Okay.
He's a giant. He probably
he's a
gets
frost
his way.
giant. Everyone's got ice beards or whatever. So he doesn't know.
He doesn't
Anyway,
know.
okay.
Okay.
So again, Loki has to come to Thor's rescue, and it's just like, no, Freya, just so hot in her longing, Thrym. This is happening. She wants you. She hasn't slept in 8 days. So
She's hungry and tired. That's a bad combination.
But she's so hot in her longing. She just can't wait to be with this frost giant.
Okay.
So at that point, he's like, well, let's just get this marriage going. So in good faith, I'll bring out Mjolnir to meet my end of the bargain, and I'll place it in my bride-to-be's lap.
Uh-huh.
And we can only imagine what happened then. Well, we don't have to imagine. Thor, with a great mighty laugh, picked up his hammer and did what he did best.
And saw.
Made out with that giant.
Yeah.
And then smashed every giant's head in with Mjolnir.
You put the hammer in my lap. I pulled the hammer out my lap.
I thought he picked up his hammer and saw.
Uh-huh. He's like, good, because I got 2 foremans waiting back at me for the house, and an inspector.
It's
gonna
need the
rain.
Hammer.
And
It's gonna rain. I gotta get this freaking roof on, man. Yeah.
I like.
Well, that was awesome.
I like how he just walked in as a
lady,
a longing lady of all things,
lady.
a hangry and tired
lady with full beard.
Yeah. It's the observation of some stories from way back, like lore. Right. It's like, you really want to accept that some of the stories people aren't paying attention to. Like, what?
He was just so excited at the fact that, or the thought that he was going to be Freya's husband. He's just like, well, I've never seen her. Maybe
like up close.
They tell me she has great beauty and a beard that has been braided 5 times,
like beads and what is it? Conch shells and.
No.
No.
I mean, I just imagine Thor's probably got some hair on his back too. You know what I mean?
Probably. Yeah.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
But there's some
Loki,
ladies that
Loki,
may have hair
up.
on their back too.
That's true.
Oh, you want to zip up? Are you getting cold?
No.
Oh.
The theoretical.
Sharks
is asking theoretical.
Sharks don't need zipping.
What are you talking about?
Are you doing a different animal every week? Is this going to be a new?
I have a T-Rex. I could do a T-Rex, but the T-Rex suit gets hot because it needs to be inflated.
Oh yeah.
So it's your first episode, so the Midgard stuff.
Oh, we're gonna talk about all this.
So
let's do it.
Most of my Midgard lore comes from playing Dark Age of Camelot.
Yes,
the PC game.
Okay.
So when she got done with her story on your very first episode, and you started covering the story, all of the characters that you mentioned, like. I was listening to your podcast on a run, and so as I'm doing my run and I get to your segment, the name drops from the characters in your stories were all like, I remember all of these people from playing the Midgard realm in Dark Age of Camelot.
It was so good.
Okay.
All of the gods, relatively speaking, were like mystical things that you pledged to on the Midgard side.
Yep.
Okay.
So. Skorri, Loki, Thor, all those things were part of like the classes and whatnot for the games and stuff.
That was a solid game.
And I spent a good decade playing that game. So there was an intrinsic like string pull on your specifically all of the Nordic ties that you've done. Like I know that stuff.
You knew it, yeah.
But what's funny is I knew it from playing video games.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I know Brett, your husband, my brother, played that not quite as much as me, but
see, I played it. I played it hard because because I was up in where was I at the time? Oregon. I think I was up in Oregon at the time, and we had the highest raid Midgard team for the Guinevere server.
Oh, yeah.
And so
did you ever play?
It was Midgard was like the dirtiest realm. Like it was the most.
Yeah.
So it was a PC game, and it was.
Yeah. And the raids were excellent.
PvE components like player versus monsters and AI, and then it had like a player versus player component where you played against. Other people, obviously.
It was
PvP.
like at the time. I mean, it was like 50+ player raids, like going after like the relics, and then you would try to hold those relics for days, and then you get realm points.
As far as a gaming experience goes, one like an iconic cornerstone of my gaming career, like exposure.
Career.
And well, I was going to say career, but the amount of games
anything
that
over
I
a
play.
decade is a career, I would say.
So it was interesting to have like an immediate tie-in to your podcast and what you were covering, because it's like, oh, well, I know these characters. Right. They're familiar to me because I've played. And then, of course, your Twitter feeds of the, like, you, who do you recognize as Odin?
Oh, yeah. Which name?
Right.
Of
and, like, well, I was going to be funny how I never got around to it, like we were talking about earlier. You want to get on Twitter and you want to post something, but then you're like, oh, I'm supposed to be working today. I was going to respond, like, well, I recognize Anthony Hopkins as Odin.
Oh,
but, you know, it would have been funny because you were like, well, what other names do you know as Odin? So, obviously, it would have been funny, haha, and tongue-in-cheek.
That would have been hilarious.
I would have liked it.
But yeah, so I have an awesome tie to the.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah,
the stories like the true crime stuff.
Yeah.
Very niche for me. Like I'll watch some of the stuff the kids seem to be really into it, like the unsolved mystery stuff.
Oh yeah, they're bringing that back.
Oh really?
Netflix just got it. Yeah, it's coming back.
But
no one's Robert.
The myth stuff that you're doing on your side, I'm like, I know all these people. Usually it involved my kobold going invisible and having to pledge to a shrine or something.
That's hilarious.
But you know,
I played a kobold like rogue. It was Jack Jew Newbie was my kobold's name because he was like yeah. I was young.
So it's interesting to see like a tie back in to like when I was much younger playing video games, and it's like now I'm older, podcast. Right. And your
who
first
says you
episode,
don't learn anything from video games, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you
learn about mythology.
You do.
I know all these things.
And that was cool because if you played the other sides, you had the Arthurian side of it, and it was real Arthurian heavy. They had the knights. You can go to like
and
then there
the
was
Green Knight. There was a lot of
What was the third one? There was Alban.
Hibernia.
Yeah. And I don't remember what Hibernia was. Elves? I don't remember. I didn't play it.
Furbolgs, Lurikeens, Celts.
Yeah.
It
was pretty cool. It was a good. I don't think it's still around, is it?
Free Shards.
Okay.
And then the same developers that did it are doing they had a Kickstarter 3 or 4 years back. They're doing Camelot Unchained.
Oh.
So they're redoing, and it's all open. It's they're like the dev stuff. They're in beta right now.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, they've done that with a couple of games. I know Guild Wars was one of those. They did open, and UO they did Ultima Online. They did open source like that. People still play it.
Yeah,
they're still out there.
Yeah.
I would play Dark Age.
There were Free Shards, and I got the Venus to play Free Shards because we had missed the time to play it live. But
that was solid. Now I remember that. I'm like, memories of the good old DAOC. Yeah, that was good times.
Norse mythology is kind of interesting like that to me because it pops up in a lot of different places that you don't, like Tolkien. Almost all of his names, like Gandalf, is originally a name of one of the dwarves. In Norse mythology.
And they have a lot of.
I didn't know that.
I just saw today a news thing today, which I probably need to preface with. What was the first M. Night Shyamalan movie? Was it with
Bruce
Willis? No, sorry, Bruce Willis. Unbreakable.
Oh God, yes, okay. Yeah.
So Sam Jackson's character essentially verses that folklore are being repurposed in comics as a way to tell things or exaggerations of stuff that had happened prior, like telling verbal stories and like passing it on to generations.
Yep.
So I saw a thing. It was over in the UK, and it was a lady who didn't feel pain.
Oh yes, yes.
And so
I didn't see that.
And so there's my tie. So the myths and legends. So you have these folklore stories that are reasonably trying to explain instances where you could see this lady ended up having like a genetic mutation in like whatever it is that's in charge of pain. So childbirth was no big deal. She had to have hip replacement that she didn't know was.
Oh wow!
She didn't feel the pain. It was just like she had like a hitch, and when she went to a doctor, they said, "Yeah, your hip's been degraded. You need a replacement." Hand surgery. She didn't need.
You're running on your rim, lady.
Right.
Yeah. There's no tread in these tires.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So you can
Jeez.
see if you go back to pre-technology, Bronze Age stuff, when you're surrounded around a fire, and someone puts their hand in the fire and it burns them, and they shrug it off like, what happened? And everyone else is like,
Yeah. The shark really makes it, though.
Right? It sells it. You come up with ways to tell these
Absolutely.
stories in myth and legend, and while they get exaggerated and blown up out of proportion, so that way you can create some sort of the societal bond or whatnot.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Here was a real life case of someone in the unbreakable pitch of Sam Jackson saying the comics, we have these stories to help us explain these oddities that most likely were real, but in order to try and make sense of it, a comet or someone that doesn't feel pain, or people that are blind but have a really good sense of smell or touch, or people that just like
dress like sharks.
Right. These stories help people cope.
Absolutely.
Or bond.
That's what's interesting about the difference. We always say the difference between folklore and mythology. And then you can see the same kind of story, but in different regions, how it's modified. Like we were talking about the Wendigo.
The Wendigo.
Wendigo. Yes. It's up in, like the northern, like Canada is the Wendigo. And then it's a different type of story in the North America, and then South America has their own it's like, so even by region it's the same thing. It's like, wait a minute, you mean this character, but it's actually called this thing, and
right.
This cannibal, this chupacabra, it's fascinating. But you're right, it's like it's such a cool anthropologic study to like actually sit down and like
of how you explain.
How they
so
explain
all
it.
Of these things, this is my tie together. It's interesting to hear in your podcast how you tie the sort of the oddball realities of things relative to, there. If you wind back the clock pre-journalism, when someone had to tell a story around a fire about how something happened,
it would be
almost exactly how you guys are delivering your podcast.
And what's interesting, we always talk about, like, if you want to ever have a slippery slope of something to look at, the newspapers.com website. We will look at the old cases, and you kind of get to read these journalism things as they happen. Right. And the way the paper kind of talks about it is so like, wretched woman, or, it's a lot of these real old timey terms, but it's the same thing where each paper, depending on where they are in the country, told the story differently. The southern papers were very direct, where like LA and other places were very flourished, very like media, cinema, And it still happens even modern, It's like
when we were in DC last year for Piper's trip, 8th grade trip, when we were at George Washington's house and they were describing how he had passed, he had essentially got pneumonia in his throat. Was one of the complications, they said, was he had been bloodletted.
Oh yeah,
So at the time it was, well, we don't know what it is, but if we drain enough of his blood out, so it was like, no. And they had been approached by a young doctor that was trying to sell them on a tracheotomy. And they're like, you want to do that to the president? Like, absolutely not. It's like, yeah, but proof of concept, and his throat is closing on him, and you've drained him of like 4 quarts of his 5-quart oil tank.
Life source.
Yeah. They're all just cover him with leeches.
So, it was just like, that's not that far back
it's
that
really
you have to
not.
go where someone's like, leech him.
It's funny you bring that up, because one of my things I study a lot is Victorian age, like forensics and medicine. And I was telling her on the way over, I'm reading about like how the very start of how they did surgery back in the day, where they didn't have anesthetics and they didn't have all this stuff, and they were just chopping legs off, and they would use the same knife for like the guy before him or the cadaver they were working on, and people were like, it was safer to just die than to have the surgery that may save you. And there was a show that referenced it, but the guy had an infection, and the doctor's like, let's just put some mercury. We'll just inject some mercury in this wound to help with the infection.
Oh my God!
Because there was no antibiotics. Antibiotics weren't being used till 1940. They would kill the infection. You go a little crazy too. But it's just interesting to hear, like, again, is it lore that they thought these things would fix things, you know?
They had this crazy like forethinking on the surgical aspect of it, but didn't have a grasp of the minor things that cause bacteria and all that kind of stuff. They had no idea about that. And even when there was some, I don't remember who it is, but I remember reading there was some doctor that said, "Oh no, there's like things that you can't see that make you get an infection or sick or whatever." And people are like, "Oh yeah, you can't see it," but that's what it
washing
ends up
your hands.
Yeah, that's what it ends up being. Is
the Earth is flat,
microscopic thing, and
they're doing that cruise. You can get on that cruise with those guys. They're doing that whole "we're going to the end of the earth" thing soon.
No one's a flat earther here, right?
No.
Okay.
I'm all.
Sweet Jesus.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm like, if you are, get out.
But see, that's the thing. It's like, and I'm reading a book right now where they're talking about the guy who would time himself, be like, I can get this leg off in 30, under a minute. And then he'd be like, oh, this thing's bleeding. I should maybe just tie this or maybe cut it more. And and they weren't using anesthetics. They would finally were like, maybe we should try ether.
Starting to sound like my dentist.
Yeah, right. Well, dentists were mostly doctors back then. Remember that?
True, yeah.
Yeah. So
it means the jackhammer.
Yeah, right.
This cavity requires an aneurysm. So go through the teeth, then we remove the cranium, and the incisor will come out.
We could just do lobotomies in the garage now.
Yeah.
I've
got enough. Yeah.
You got ice pick?
Take the head sweep to remove extra nose hairs.
You just need an ice pick, right?
Yeah.
There was that guy had the mobile. Remember, he'd take his van and just drive around for him. It was like instant lobotomies.
It's like a cure for being a lady back then. Hysterics.
It's all, you're no longer a witch, but you need a lobotomy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that guy. That was the guy who got in trouble with the Kennedy, Kennedy's sister.
Yes.
What was his name?
I don't remember.
He had the
You're
lobotomy.
crime
I know.
lady.
He had the lobotomy mobile. So he'd just show up at the house and just do them in his van and send people on their way.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah, that van is in the Haunted Museum in Vegas now.
Sometimes I'm glad it's 2019.
Yeah, I know. I don't think we don't lobotomize as much anymore. I don't think they do it anymore as much.
It's probably just a pill.
Yeah, it's just a pill, I think.
I kind of feel like Sutter's back in those days, though,
Yeah.
Every time I go to the doctor, I'm like, what is happening here?
You
want me to do what?
Well, it's always fun when they start the conversation with, well, at your age. And you're like, oh, okay. Oh.
Do you have anything for sharks?
Sad dad.
Sharks. Yeah. Womp womp.
Yeah. I got this shark
Well, what's your
problem.
expertise with shark anus?
I think if you walked in with that costume, though, that's going to get you the pill, the little pill.
There's a different word.
Trank him
There's a
and give
different
him
word.
the lobotomy.
They will involuntarily submit you. Yeah.
You just wear the shark
You have to stay moving.
Yeah.
Gotta stay moving. Keep going.
I've got a knee problem. It's like, fucking, you're a shark.
Some mercury will clear that up.
Yeah.
It's all cartilage.
But you're a shark, sir. You don't even have a knee.
Are you fucking with
Wait,
me right
isn't
now?
he just pure cartilage?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. There's no bone. It's all
How much can we get for him on the black market that size, you think?
I don't know. We cut his
that's a pretty
fins
big
off and
fin,
just
yeah.
leave the rest.
Yeah.
Cook the rest.
Swim
What was
in a
that?
circle.
Knees?
Do sharks have knees?
Do sharks have knees? No.
Shark fins on the black market.
Shark cartilage. This might be
No,
worth it.
you just cut the fins off and leave the rest.
You make
Oh,
soup.
that's true.
Yeah, for shark fin soup.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
There we go.
Illegal hunting.
That's the
Illegal hunting.
saddest shit ever.
Humans
You ever
are
seen
great.
the video where they cut the fins off the shark and put them back in the water?
Yeah.
The turtles.
That's what-
Did you follow up on the turtles?
No.
The turtle straw thing? Is that what you're talking about?
No,
What are we talking
in
Thailand? Hong Kong.
What did
Thailand, they found how many was it? 1,500 turtles.
What?
In suitcases that were like duct taped up and stuff.
They had the
Like sea turtle? Like what
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
sea
like
turtles?
little-
Oh my God.
turtles about this big.
Oh.
they had the
Were they cooking
the
them
legs
for cooking or something?
duct taped
They were
inside the
trying
shell so they
to-
wouldn't scratch each other.
Yeah, they were trying to
Oh my God, I'm appalled.
to get them into the country, and when they went into the customs, they found out what the
Their inspection was going to be like.
and that how bad it was to be trying to get these into the country, so they just
my
left
God.
them
In the suitcase.
in the suitcases in the luggage
Carousel.
area on the carousel.
They're like, JK, we just have cocaine.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, how would you even smuggle that in?
It was
1,500.
That is horrible.
because it was
Yeah.
what was the market value? They were
Oh,
rare.
it was like
There were
66,000 pounds.
that is
or
horrible.
something, like
Yeah.
pound sterling.
Wow.
They were rare. I can't remember the.
Were they all dead? Were they all
No.
dead? Did they really get able to release them, or
They were, they were able to get them, and
that is terrible. I'm
trying
sorry,
to get
that's
them
awful.
returned to where they belong. And
Who would
That's
do such a
awful.
thing?
Yeah.
people,
Sounds like-
humans are awful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They are. They are. They do not treat animals well. I will get off
We're
my
good.
soapbox on that. Yeah.
We're good.
So,
right.
well,
Sweet.
thank you for having us.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
for coming over.
Thanks for coming.
And happy April Fools
Happy
if
April
you're
Fools.
listening
Yeah.
on April Fools.
Yes, we'll be
Yeah.
releasing this.
April Fool.
I've never done a podcast with a shark, so I can cross that off my bucket list. That was on there.
I've never done
Shark-
a podcast.
No.
You've never?
No,
We all- we
It's
all
like a
popped
first
our-
time.
April
This is
Fool.
our
Shark
first
cherries.
I'm
episode.
deathly afraid.
We'll just relabel this episode 1.
Yeah. Thank you.
Starting all over.
Starting all over. Let's just
New format.
erase it. Go. We got it.
Well, thanks everyone for listening. Murder and Myth podcast and Sad Dads Club podcast.
Yep.
Yep.
And we'll hope to see you on the next episode.
All right. Bye-bye.